Welcome to a 3-minute army primer on the everyman grab bag of other armies' units, unwashed grubby nature lovers and unabashed fanboys of the Green Lady. It's the Forces of Nature. Forces of Nature is a bit of a weird mix of units, with representatives from across the gamut of Kings of War forces. Once you've started collecting this force, it's relatively easy to branch out into other armies. Branch out. Trees. Never mind. Anyway, from our list of archetypes, I think Forces of Nature can be funneled relatively easily into the following. Okay, so I'm not saying Forces of Nature make the most efficient or punchy Alpha Strike force in the game, but with the amount of scouting and fast units in the list, they can definitely pack a punch before most other forces, aided by the fact that practically the whole list has Pathfinder. Just a shame that Centaurs have so few attacks. They can also compete in the Flying Circus arena. Their flying units are often more an annoyance than a truly credible threat, but the sheer volume of flyers can be difficult for some players to manage. It speaks to how truly diverse the list is that you can run a full Flying Circus on the one hand and then a ponderous grind fest on the other. Elementals form the core of this approach, and there's plenty of heal and defense 6 flying around to make this a very credible approach. And of course, with the replete selection of greater elementals, tree herders and even hydras, you can really construct delivery systems for unpleasant surprises. There's plentiful surge to make this a very nasty reality, particularly if you consider beasts of nature as part of the crew. Good old Wilt Father. An upgrade to the already excellent tree herder, Wilt Father is newly available to Forces of Nature and is hands down one of the most amazing units in the game, full stop. Aside from his stats, his ability to make verdant units vicious works extra hard in this army. And speaking of verdant units... Yay! Actually, these little cut-price dragons already have Vicious, and a range of upgrades to give incredible versatility. You rarely see them without the wings and extra attack options, and rightly so. Playing against unicorns is just so annoying. They're great backup casters, but at speed 10, defense 5 with very decent attacking stats, they're just one of the greatest multi-tools in the game. You can even give them wings so they fly and score. Did I mention they're inspiring? Just stupid. Honourable mention, Forces of Nature would be nothing without elementals, and I couldn't pick a favourite, so we'll just say all of them. They all play a role, so pick your flavour. Or make an army with just elementals, they're so good, why wouldn't you? So there's lots that Forces of Nature can do, but there's some things it can't. It has no appreciable range threat beyond some 18-inch shooting and the odd lightning bolt unicorn, which limits that approach, but the main problem is that some builds are so strong you're almost funneled into taking them. For example, if you build a list around the Wilt Father, you end up trying to exploit the verdant buff, which really isn't overly necessary. I recommend you explore the options in the list as fully as possible before committing, because there's a lot there. Plus, you'll avoid your fellow players abusing you for spamming trees like some kind of horticultural addicted eco-warrior. Lastly, there's not a brilliant range of really punchy units, so you end up slipping into the grind, which is fine if you like that sort of thing. In summary, Forces of Nature is a diverse, you might say overly diverse, selection box of interesting units, allowing adaptation to its range of playstyles. Some might think it lacks personality, but for those that like fur and feathers, it's a great entry point, and thanks to its durability, makes a good choice for new players, so I'm giving it a 2 out of 5 for newbie difficulty rating.